Hello, everyone, and welcome to today's Gentle Hatha Flow. I'm Nicole, and I'll be teaching, and we have Talia, who will be demonstrating.
Hi, Nicole. Thank you. I'm so grateful to be here.
Awesome. So we'll begin in child's pose on the mat. So thank you, everybody, and thank you, Talia, for coming and joining us for this retreat, this practice where you really just get to settle into your body and focus onto your breath. So here we're in a wide-legged child's pose. You're crawling the fingertips forward and extending through the sides of the body. And here you can let go of any responsibilities. Give yourself permission to let go of any roles, any titles that you may play in your life, any responsibility or tension in the body. And full permission to just relax and to let be. And taking several deep breaths here as you continue to settle into the moment. Feeling the breath enter into not only into the abdomen, but also into the sides, into the back of your body. And an even deeper exhalation than your inhalation. You're pressing out any residual sludge in the bottom of the lungs that holds on to toxicity or negativity. And then we fill up with this fresh prana, this fresh life force. And connecting with your breath, sitting the hips back to the heels. You inhale through the nostrils here and fill up into the back of your heart, to the bottom of your lungs. And then exhale, open up the mouth and just sigh something out. And then inhale, lift your gaze to the top of your mat and slide your right arm underneath your left arm into a thread the needle variation. You can land onto the side of the head and stretch the left hand to the top of the mat. Then initially just coming into the pose and checking in with where you feel restricted, breathing into that area. And as we start to slow the body, we slow the breath down. We in turn slow down the mental chatter. You can keep the left hand stretching to the top of your mat or take the left hand behind your back into a half bind. And maybe it hooks into the hip crease, grabs onto the clothing. And just rolling that shoulder head open. Allow your breath to be slow and deep. As we clear out not only physically, but also mentally. In the Four Agreements, Don Miguel talks about the mental chatter as the mitote. And it's this example of 1,000 people talking at once. So as we breathe, as we get still here in the body, maybe also quiet down the chatter of the mitote. And taking one last breath in and a breath out. And slide your left hand down onto the earth. And we'll switch over to the other side. So you can plant the hand kind of in front of the face. Yeah, and then just take your left arm and send it underneath the right arm. Beginning onto this side, stretching the right hand to the top of the mat. And adjust if you need. Noticing any differences between the sides. And staying here, or decide to take the right arm up and behind the back. And continue to draw the shoulder blades in towards the back. And the thoracic spine presses to the chest. And it's this gradual opening of the body. So never trying to force here, but with the breath, right, with time, letting the pose unfold. And take a deep breath in and a deep breath out. Slide the right hand down onto the earth and come up to all fours for table. You can slide your hands right underneath the shoulders. Let's take the knees hip width apart. We'll come into puppy pose, which is a pose I've been experimenting with lately, and it feels really good in the body. So you'll keep your hips right over the knees, and the hips have a tendency to kind of slide forward. So keep them stacked over the knees. And then looking to the top of your mat, you'll take a giant step with your hands to the front of your mat. And then you can relax the forearms down to the ground. You can relax the forehead or the chin. You can choose down onto the ground. Yeah, melt your heart forward. So Talia, have you stretch your hands forward a little bit more. Yeah, and then just see if you can get your forehead or your chin down onto the ground. So you'll kind of melt your chest down to the ground. Beautiful. So in this puppy pose, you can stretch your arms, straighten the elbows here. And then just breathe into the sides of the body. Breathe into the back of the body. Again, if any worries, any concerns, or any thoughts that are not of this moment come up, just let them go with the breath out. And each breath in, it's a renewal, rejuvenating the body, right, repairing it. Taking one last deep breath in and a deep breath out. We'll come up onto our forearms and slide forward into Sphinx pose. So you'll lower down onto your belly, straighten your legs behind you. Nice. Yeah, you can press the tops of the feet down. We'll take the elbows right in line with the shoulders and the wrists in line with the elbows. And then inhale, lift the chest up, broaden here through the collarbones as you work on pulling your heart through between the arms. And just focusing the eyes on a single point. Let the busyness of your day go. And just simmering it away. Inhale. Exhale. Another deep breath in. And a deep breath out. And we'll lower down the forehead to the mat. And straighten your left arm. So extend your left arm out to the side. So right out towards the computer, yes. And then slide your right fingertips down onto the ground. Almost like you had a cupcake underneath your right hand and you didn't want to smush it. Right, the elbow will pin into the shoulder. And then slide over onto your left hip. As you slide onto your left hip, you'll send your right leg behind you. So picking up the right leg, bringing the foot to plant. Nice. And just staying here for a couple rounds of breath. And softening anywhere in the body that you feel tension arise. And breathing so deeply here that anything that is not your breath, it just falls away. Decide to stay here to take your right arm up and behind the back for that half bind variation. And we can be so busy running around from one to-do list item to the next that we don't have time to listen to the body. And so here we're really carving out that time to tune in and to heal the body from any damage that we have done. And then time to unwind, coming back into your belly. Both legs straight behind you. And just switch over to the right side. So straighten your right arm out, extend the right arm out, slide your left hand onto tented fingertips. And keep your elbow, the left elbow kind of lifts up. There we go. And then press over onto the right side. Yeah, coming onto that hip, taking your foot with you. The head can relax down. And almost like this is a science experiment, exploring the body with your breath, with these little micro adjustments, micro movements. And keeping your left hand where it is or bring it up and behind the back. And just let that shoulder head roll open. A great stretch for the shoulder, even works into the chest muscles. So if you've been doing a lot of power yoga, a lot of vinyasas, this is a great opportunity to stretch that out and counterbalance all of those poses. And take about 3 more, really just deep breaths, really conscious inhales and exhales. And then we'll unwind the leg, unwind the arm, coming back onto the belly. As you come onto your stomach, slide both hands underneath the shoulders and press up onto all fours for table. You come onto all fours, just stack your joints, shoulders over wrists, knees over the hips. And we'll move through 3 rounds of just traditional cow and cat. Inhaling to drop the belly, lifting the chest and chin. And then exhale to round the spine, drawing the chin and the tailbone in. Now moving with the breath. So the breath and the movement are no longer separate. Like the word yoga really means to unionize, right? Body, mind, and spirit. One more round just like this. And then we'll begin to move a little bit more organically in what I like to call like scooping out the peanut butter jar. So Talia here is going to imagine she's a spoon and just start to move into these cat-cow movements, but also into the side body. So pretending like she's a spoon, trying to really scrape out any remnants left of the peanut butter. Yeah, we'll move in a few directions this way. Yeah, and then go ahead and switch directions to the other way. And really give up trying to get it right or wrong and just move in a way that feels good in your body. And after some movement here, you've got all the peanut butter. Let's curl the toes under and send the hips into downward facing dog. And since this is more of a gentle class today, let's take a deep bend into the knees. We'll make the down dog less about the hamstrings and more about the heart. So press your chest back to your thighs. Yeah, bring a soft bend to the knees so the tailbone can work up high to the sky. And taking several deep breaths here. So Talia is muted, so feel free. And I can't hear you on your mat, so feel free to let out any sighs. Yeah, let these breaths be really deep. Now taking one last breath in. Open up the mouth and sigh it out. Look between your thumbs. We'll walk the feet to the hands at the top of the mat. And set up into ragdoll. Grab opposite elbows. Let your head hang right between the biceps. Now pressing the center of each heel down, you'll feel this rebounding effect up the legs into your lower abdomen. With that firm foundation, just give yourself full permission to relax. You release. You let yourself hang, let go of titles, roles, pressures, to-do lists. Just be here now. And release your hands down to the ground. We'll bring the big toes to touch. You can toe heel the feet to touch. Inhale, lift up halfway and lengthen. You're getting strong and long through the sides. And then exhale, fold forward, release. Pressing the feet down. Inhale, reach your arms all the way up overhead into extended mountain pose. And as you reach up, look up to your hands. And exhale, bring the hands into your heart. Anjali Mudra. And arms down by your side for Tadasana. And just checking in with the posture here. Checking in with the quality of your mind. We'll move through 2 more half salutations like that. On an inhale, reach the arms up overhead. Exhale, fold forward at the waist. Breathe in, lift halfway. Breathe out, fold forward. Root to rise. Inhale, reach the arms to the sky. Exhale, hands into the heart. Arms down by your side. Breathe and reach the arms back up overhead as high as you can. Exhale, fold forward. Breathe in, half lift. Breathe out, fold forward. It's beautiful, Talia. Inhale, stretch the arms overhead to the sky. And exhale, hands into your heart. And arms down by your side. Take a breath in. And a breath out. Inhale, stretch your arms to the sky. Exhale, fold forward at the waist. Breathe in, lift halfway. Breathe out, bring your hands to plant and lunge your left foot to the back of your mat. As you lunge the left foot back, lower the knee down to the ground. You can uncurl the toes and stretch your arms to the sky into a low crescent lunge. And just like we wouldn't build a house without a foundation first, we don't want to build our poses without our foundation. So the back leg is pressing into the ground. The front heel is pressing down. Right, a little scoop of the tailbone as you reach those arms up out of the ribs. Inhale, reach up. And then exhale, lower the hands down to the ground so you frame your front foot. Curl the back toes under, lift the back knee, and step into a forward fold at the top of your mat. Breathe in, lift halfway. Breathe out, fold forward. Stretch the arms up overhead, inhale. And fold forward as you exhale. Breathe in, lift halfway. Breathe out, bring your hands to plant, lunging your right leg to the back of your mat this time. Lowering the back knee down, uncurl the toes, and stretch your arms to the sky. And taking a moment here and just settling into the hips, lunging into the front leg. A scoop of the tailbone so the top of your pelvis draws in to the bottom of your ribs. Inhale. Hands to the ground, exhale. Lift up the back knee, step into a forward fold. Half lift, inhale. Forward fold, exhale. Pressing the feet down, inhale, reach the arms all the way up overhead. Exhale, fold forward, release down. Half lift, inhale. Step your left foot to the back of your mat as you exhale. We'll return to that runner's lunge or the knee down lunge. Now uncurling the toes, stretch your arms up. And here for a couple rounds of breath. So we want to work into the hip flexors of the left leg. So actively squeezing into the left glute. Your arms reaching up, eyes are focused, breath is deep and full. And we'll make our way into a twist, sending the left hand to ground on the inside edge of the left foot. So when the left hand plants down, stretch your right arm up to the sky. Nice. So we have that left hand that we're pressing into and drawing the shoulder blades into the back. We're going to have this nice long spine to twist with and to twist from. And an option to stay here or to bend the knee and grab the back foot. So either variation will work. Whichever you choose, we're here for 5 rounds of breath. Inhaling and exhaling. Breathe with me. Inhale, exhale. Releasing the foot back down into the ground. Don't slingshot it. Yeah, really good control, Talia. Bring both hands to frame your right foot. So the right hand will come down to plant. And just checking your right foot is right in the middle of the mat. And now straighten your right leg into your half Hanuman. So your half split here. You can work the toes to peel back to the shin. Yeah, let's take a little upward dog tilt here of the chest on an inhale. So lifting the heart up. That's it. And then exhale, fold a little deeper. Relaxing the forehead towards the knee. Into this great stretch for the hamstring. Into the back of your leg. And then bend into your right knee and replant the foot down. Come into pigeon. Work your right foot to the left wrist. And that's it. The knee can be outside of the hip, and you can straighten that left leg behind you so it's like as straight as an arrow. Staying here in proud pigeon for a breath in. And either staying or exhaling and lowering into single pigeon. And most importantly, just staying relaxed in the pose. Don't check out, but check in. And you can even notice when you're still, where does the mind like to wander off to? And without judging it, with compassion, we just direct ourselves back. As many times as it takes. So here, using your breath, using this intention to be present, to slow down, and to release the tension that gets stored in the body. And it's not just tension from physical activity, but we can store tension just through stressful thinking, stressful situations that may pop up. Sometimes we're not even aware. The tension can be so habitual. So here, using your breath, just let it go. Whatever thoughts, whatever images arise, I think the best way out is always through. Making your way back up onto your hands. Coming into downward facing dog. And so not snap releasing out of the pose, but just making your way slowly into down dog. Take a cleansing breath in and a cleansing breath out. And then bending into the knees, look to the top of your mat and walk your feet to your hands. Bringing the feet to touch, your big toes touch. Breathe in, lift up halfway. Breathe out, fold forward. Inhale, reach your arms up overhead into extended mountain pose. And exhale the hands into your heart center. And arms down by your side. Just bringing a smile to the face. Inhale, reach your arms up. Exhale, fold forward. Breathe in, lift halfway. Breathe out, bring your hands to plant as you step your right foot to the back of your mat. So coming into this other side now, lower the back knee down, uncurl the toes and reach the arms up. Yeah, no rush at all. So if you need a little bit more time to set up, go ahead and take it. You're honoring any differences between the two sides. And then just see what you see here, hear what you hear, and experience what you're experiencing. As you continue to cultivate the witness mindset and getting out of that thinking and habitual mindset of just going on autopilot. And take your right hand down to the ground, and your left arm will stretch up to the sky into your twist. Use props if you need it underneath that right hand. And we work to find this alignment. So the outer left hip is going to draw back as we work the ribs to stack on top of one another. And the right rib cage on top of the left. Looking up to your thumb, you can stay in this twist or bend the knee and grab for the back of your foot. And just because you did something on one side doesn't mean necessarily you have to do it on the other. So just check in using that discernment of the practice. Usually your breath is a good indicator. If your breath is shallow, that you've gone a little too far. Check it's deep and full. And just like when you were in child's pose. One last breath here. And relaxing the foot back down onto the ground. Bring both hands to frame your left foot. Checking in the left foot is in the middle of the mat. And we'll straighten the left leg. So the hips can sit back to your heel. We'll bring the toes, dorsiflex the foot, toes back to the shin. Taking a lift here of the chest on an inhale. It always feels good to get a little extra length, and then exhale and fold. And we practice that pratyahara here. We bring all of the senses inward. Not focusing on other people right now or what's going on in our life, what happened before, after this. Just to be here now, in your body, with your breath. And gradually coming out of the pose, bringing a bend into the knee, the foot to plant. And set up into pigeon pose. We'll work the foot to the edge of the mat. And creating this shape in the body, the knee outside the hip. Hips can stay square to the mat, either in proud pigeon or lowering down onto forearms for single pigeon. And you can stay here lifted or lowered. The most important is the breath. And taking a few more rounds of deep breath. We're really working to press the air out of the lungs. And then mindfully coming up onto your hands, coming through proud pigeon, curling the back toes under, lifting the back knee into downward facing dog. Deep breath in, deep breath out. As you bend the knees here, look to the hands. We'll walk the feet to the top of the mat, meeting in a forward fold. Breathe in, lift halfway. Breathe out, fold forward. Inhale, reach your arms up overhead to the sky. And exhale the hands into your heart. We'll come into one standing balancing pose before we come back down. And we'll start with tree. And you can take your right foot like a kickstand, half on the ankle, half on the floor. You can take it right into the calf muscle or to the inner thigh. I'll take the hands right into the heart to begin. Once you have your balance, use that standing leg to press into, and then stretch your arms up into tree. Grow your branches. And be mindful not to splay the ribs out, but to knit the ribs in, integrating the core. And as the left heel presses into the ground, the right heel can press into your thigh, and the thigh right back into the foot. And then take your hands into your heart, and your right foot down onto the ground. And switch. Tree pose, left side. Our hands can start at the heart, and then begin to reach the arms up. And as you grow your branches, if there's anything that maybe keeps coming up for you mentally that you think about, or that's bothering you, it symbolically just give it up here. Let it go. It can be that simple sometimes. Transformation happens in an instant, and only in an instant. And taking the hands into the heart, grounding both feet down onto the mat. Stretch the arms up, inhale. Fold forward, exhale. Half lift, inhale. Downward facing dog, exhale. And then lower the knees down, and we'll come into camel pose. So the knees will be down. We'll walk the hands back, and so they're alongside the body. We'll curl the toes under. And we're not quite warmed up for full camel, so we'll take a variation where we're having the hands right at the hips, like you're sliding your hands into back pockets. And squeeze the elbows and squeeze the shoulder blades together as you start to scoop the low belly, the tailbone, the sacrum tilts underneath you. Nice. And you can open up into the chin. You look up to the ceiling. And 3 rounds of breath. And then chin into the chest. We'll come back into a neutral spine. Uncurl the toes as you sit on the tops of your feet and bring both hands to your heart. So place the right hand onto the heart and the left hand on top. Allow the eyes to close. And just really present yourself to the effects of your yoga practice so far. To the prana, this life force flowing through your body. We'll come into a seat. So you can swing your legs around with both legs straight out to begin. And then we'll set up into Jani Shirshasana. So slide your left foot into the right inner thigh. The right leg will stay straight, almost like you're doing tree pose, but you're sitting. And square your hips over your right leg as you stretch your arms up to the sky on a big breath in. Exhale and fold over your right leg. And wherever your hands land is perfect. The right leg is active, pressing the heel, the quadricep down to the ground. Wait for your support as you lengthen out the back body. And then begin to walk your hands up your leg back into a seat. And take your left hand to plant behind you. Now, with that left hand planted, press into your knee, your right or your left knee and your right heel to lift your hips into baby wild thing. Yeah, so we press down into these 3 points of contact as we open up. Find that full self expression, just living out loud. So amazing. Looks so good. And then coming back into a seat, you'll take your left foot and cross it over your right leg. So that foot will plant onto the ground. Nice. And then take your right hand to hug your left knee. Your left hand can come behind the back like a little kickstand. As we twist, you have to look behind you, look over that shoulder. Keep hugging the knee into the body. At each inhalation, you'll find length in the spine. And then each exhale, you'll twist a little further. The low belly hugs in as you rotate around the mid part of your back. Another inhale. And exhale. And then unwind. Bring your left leg straight out in front of you. And we'll slide the right foot to the inner thigh. And stretching the arms to the sky, inhaling. And then fold over your left leg as you exhale. Just taking your time here, pressing the quadricep down into the ground, maybe finding a soft bend into the knee. And remembering that breath is one of the most important tools that we have. So as we breathe deep, the body knows that it's okay to relax here. It's okay to stretch out. And then coming back up, walking your hands up your leg, coming into a seat. We'll take the right hand to plant behind the body. With that right hand planted, stretch your left arm up, lift the hips up into your baby wild thing. You're pressing the knee, the heel down into the ground, back of the body active as we open up into the front of the body. Yeah, going for that full self-expression, no holding back. And then slowly lowering back down into a seat. We'll prepare for our twist. Working your right leg on top of the left or across the left, so the foot plants down. Yeah, hugging the knee in. And those right fingertips come to plant behind you. And twist, looking to the wall behind you. Yeah, keep drawing the shoulder blades in towards each other. Hugging the knee in as you rotate. Breathe in. Twist as you breathe out. Again, inhale. Exhale. And unwind. Let's bring both legs to plant now so you can unwind the legs and just lower onto your back. As you come all the way down onto your back, we'll come into a half happy baby. You'll take your right foot, like the knife edge of the right foot, the pinky toe edge, or even the big toe, out to the side and just press that left leg down. And so the left hip presses down as the right knee comes towards the right armpit. Long, slow, deep breaths into the groin area, into the inner thigh. And then take your right leg and guide it to the left for supine twist. And just taking it across the body as your arms open wide. You can take your gaze towards your right thumbnail, the chin towards the shoulder. Your shoulder blades are relaxing down. The knee can just kind of hover here. And we'll hug the right knee back into the chest. Give it a little squeeze. And switch. Send your right leg down onto the ground. Let's hug the left knee in and set up into half happy baby on this side. Now we work to draw the tailbone down. The head can stay relaxed down. Now you can work maybe a straightness into the leg or keep it bent. Any little final movements here as we start to really cool the practice down, prepare for our Shavasana. And then take your left leg, send it across the body into supine twist. And really all of the work that you've put into your practice, we just start to let that go here. Letting go of control, letting go of the thought, and just getting deeper into this moment. We're totally absorbed in the moment here. And we'll take the left knee into the chest. And straighten both legs down onto the ground. And come into Shavasana. The arms and legs splay out. And allow yourself to just be and receive the benefits from your practice. And slowly bringing your awareness back into your body. You can wiggle out fingers, you can wiggle out the toes. Roll out wrists and ankles. And taking the knees into the chest. Give yourself a squeeze. Yeah, hugging the knees in, giving yourself a silent acknowledgement for all of the work that you put in. And just roll off to one side, curled up into a little ball. And we'll press up into a seat for meditation. And we'll keep the eyes closed in meditation and bring the palms to face up onto the thighs. And take both hands into your heart center. And we'll seal class with a single Om. Taking a breath in. Bring the thumbs to the third eye. Namaste.